Hi guys and welcome to a deck tech video for Urza, a budget deck tech, and an interview with the Tangelo. You've seen him in some of our live streams. Who are you, man?
Hello, my name is Jordan. Most of you, like you said, most of you know me as Tangelo on the cEDH Discord and the Twitch streams. As far as who I am, I don't know, just a cEDH enthusiast. Play Urza mostly. This is the deck that I play most regularly.
We had a deck competition where people were going to construct a budget deck around 400 USD dollars, but make it as powerful as they could. And we would rank them. We were 5 people giving points on each deck, and the higher the power level you could achieve, the better points you got. And you came second place. You were actually just behind Shaper Savant by 0.1 point.
Yeah.
He made an Ukima Kasur food chain budget deck, and he got 7.8. You got 7.7. So I actually might say you're shared equal first spot, if I might say.
I'll take second place to Shaper any day.
The deck goes by the name of Urza Polymorph. Could you explain the name and how the deck actually wins?
So the most reliable combo that we use in the deck is going to be the Polymorph combo. In order to set up this combo, all you need is one creature on the board. It's usually going to be Urza's Consort, but you can in certain situations actually use Urza himself. You need 2 artifacts that can produce more total mana than it costs to cast. And then additionally, you need to be able to cast 1 spell from your hand. So you start the combo by casting Polymorph, targeting one of your creatures, and then you begin revealing cards from the top of your library until you reveal the only creature in the deck, Tidespout Tyrant. Once Tidespout is on the field, cast any spell, triggering the genie, and returning one of your 2 artifacts to your hand. Then you recast that artifact using another cast trigger to return your other artifact. From here, you can tap your original artifacts for mana, then recast your second artifact, and then from there you can just go tapping each other, bouncing each other artifacts with the Tidespout Tyrant. So it sounds like a lot of setup. You need a bunch of rocks, you need a spell in hand, but really most of this is set up going naturally throughout the course of the game. The biggest hurdle is just getting a Polymorph effect into hand, and it's just a 1-card combo from there.
But you have a Mystical Tutor, which you can tutor for the Polymorph.
All of your tutors can serve as a Polymorph tutor. Proteus stat is an artifact, so you can find it with your Fabricates, your Whir of Inventions.
So what you basically have here is a 1-card combo that mono blue is actually quite good at tutoring for.
Absolutely.
So how does the games look like when you play this deck, the Urza?
So Urza plays a lot of low-cost artifacts to help facilitate that plan. So it has the means to play really quick and efficient wincons early, as well as with your grimy mono blue counter spells, you can protect that combo. However, Urza's an adaptive deck, so if you're put up against certain hate pieces like Drannith Magistrate, or if you're putting against faster combos such as Demonic Consultation and Thassa's Oracle, the deck can pivot to a more disruptive playstyle with some stacks and whatnot.
The usual Winter Orb and Static Orb, I guess.
Exactly. So yeah, one of Urza's greatest strengths is its ability to take such fantastic pieces like Winter Orb and Static Orb and make them even better by tapping them down before your turn. Most decks, when they're using those, can just break parity, while Urza just ignores it. It's absolutely one of the best effects that you can play in Urza. It's fantastic.
However, this is a budget deck, but going towards monocolored is usually helping you out when you're going for budget. But how much did the budget restriction hurt this deck construction? What did it lose in general?
So actually, it didn't lose much of anything at all. I'd say that this version of the deck has around 90% of the power of a fully tuned Urza list. The polymorph lines are super cheap. The stacks pieces are pretty budget. A large portion of the budget is actually sunk into the artifacts. So, since we need those 2 mana positive artifacts to win with the polymorph line, I put a lot of the budget into making that as consistent as possible. And so when you're upgrading this deck, getting more efficient rocks is going to be a really good way to upgrade it. You can easily bring this deck's cost down by over $100 by replacing 3 cards.
Which are those?
Just by replacing Mana Vault, Sensei's Top, and Heuristic Study. They're all really important in my opinion, but if you're on a lower budget, you can, like I said, easily just replace those with some other good cards and you're in a really good spot.
You have another card here that is actually really expensive, that is also an enchantment, Counterbalance. What do you think of that?
Counterbalance is a little bit of a It's not consistent control, but it's consistent pressure on your opponents. It affects play patterns. When it doesn't win early, it wants to slow the game down and go for a really slow-paced late game, and I think counterbalance is really good at facilitating that.
It is definitely doing that kind of job. And I want to add something here. People actually play kind of differently against counterbalance because some people just start to play really slow themselves. So it has that psychological warfare on some people. So among all the cEDH decks that are available, why did you pick Urza? What was so enchanting about it for you?
Right. So personally, I grew up reading a few of the Magic novels, and Urza
Ooh,
is
yeah.
by far my favorite Magic character, and which is why I immediately wanted to build a cEDH deck to play him as soon as he was spoiled. So, but nostalgia aside, we're not here because Urza is the coolest maniac in Magic. We're here to win. So I personally believe Urza to be by far the strongest mono blue commander. And while not all Urza players use the polymorph combo, I believe having access to that one card combo is extremely valuable and really boosts his power level. Additionally, Urza's adaptable playstyle comes a lot of skill expression. Judge when you're trying to go for a fast win or change it to a control-y late game.
Why shouldn't you play Urza? So for which kind of people isn't this the right pick of a deck?
I personally don't consider this a downside as far as gameplay goes. This list is what you would call a win-conless deck, and there's an entire Reddit post about what a win-conless deck is. But essentially, every card in the deck has purpose. It has some sort of use outside of the combo. And building this way means there are 0 dead cards. The last thing you want to draw in a sticky situation is a Jace, Wizard Mysteries, Aetherflux Reservoir, any of these. But the downside of this is that when you actually get your infinite mana with your Tidespot Tyrant, it can be a little complicated to resolve casting your entire deck. You don't have just a one play Lab Maniac and then win the game. There's a few chains you have to go through.
It sounds like you have to be a teacher.
A little bit, yeah. I would say that playing Urza really helps you improve at Magic.
So when you have infinite mana, how do you actually win?
So what you do is, since you can exile your entire library and be able to start casting with Urza, what you start doing is you can cast all of your permanents, get all your artifacts on the field, and every time you cast one of these artifacts, you are going to return permanent that your opponent controls to their hand. And so by doing this, by casting our entire deck, you've got all of your opponent's permanents bounce back to their hand. And from here, you can actually start bouncing and recasting Urza to make a bunch of constructs. This isn't technically infinite, but it will make enough to kill people.
What other ways of achieving infinite mana do you actually have inside this version of the deck?
We also use the tried and true Icecrown Scepter and Dramatic Reversal. Simple combo: play Icecrown Scepter, have it imprint reversal, get infinite mana that way with your all of your mana rocks. The fully tuned versions of the deck also use Grim Monolith and Power Artifacts.
Do you consider Urza to have auto-includes, like some cards you should always play in his deck, kind of in general?
Absolutely, the orbs, the Winter Orb and Static Orb, back to basics is fantastic. Narset Parter Veils is very good. A lot of your tutors are definitely necessary, the ones that, particularly the ones that can find your polymorph pieces.
Are there any other pet cards in your deck, by the way?
One of my favorite includes has got to be Misdirection. One of the biggest issues with the polymorph combo is how many points of interaction there are. You can counter polymorph, you can destroy the genie, you can just destroy Urza, maybe you can even just destroy the artifacts that I'm trying to bounce. And Misdirection, when you're actually going for the combo, serves as another force of will when you're actually trying to go off. It stops most of, if not all, types of interaction that would be used at instant speed to stop your combo.
It's also really on a budget.
Oh, absolutely. For 40 cents, we'll do that any day.
I think I want to mention another great card for this strategy, Legacies Allure, which is only 2 blue mana. It's also on a budget, and this is a card I recommend to all of you out there because this card is great. It sees play in a lot of budget-free decks in general, because for only 1 turn cycle, you can steal a Thrasius with this. But for your deck, you gain a polymorph target, because sometimes the construct is killed.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, it can steal opponents' things, but another use for it is to take back Urza if someone takes it with Gilded Drake. Because if someone can steal Urza in some way, your deck really doesn't have very many ways to come back from that. Vidalcan Shackles also helps with this. Either set up your combo better by stealing an opponent's creature, or to take Urza back when he gets away from you.
Or steal a Thrasius when you want to go for that grindy game instead.
Yeah, Thrasios activation is much better than Urza's activation.
I want to mention something really amazing about this kind of deck, and I want to talk a little bit more about the Proteus staff, because I've actually played against you in a game where the genie ended up in the graveyard, and in that game I believe you used Proteus staff to grind value with Urza. Could you explain how the non-creature Proteus staff functions?
There's actually another deck that uses Proteus staff in the way I'm about to describe, Fibblethip. The way Proteus staff works is whenever you activate it targeting a creature, that creature goes to the bottom of your library. And so what our deck can do is we can put Urza at the bottom of the library and then reveal until we find Urza again if our Tidespot Tyrant gets removed, and put Urza back on the field. And then Proteus staff says that we get to reorder, put all the cards that were revealed this way on the bottom of our library in any order, which means we get to reorder our entire library, putting whatever cards we want to draw on the top of your library. Additionally, you get an additional Urza enters the battlefield trigger, getting another construct. So if your plan happens to fail, if your Tidespot Tyrant gets removed, Proteus staff can be used to grind some slow value and facilitate a beatdown backup plan, or just to reload a different combo. Maybe you want to find the Icecrown Scepter dramatic reversal combo and win from there.
Yeah, you basically vampiric tutor your entire deck. Basically doomsday your entire deck. That's pretty insane.
Additionally, with Proteus staff, it's not only a piece for yourself. You can actually use it, and I have used it. Mons can testify to this.
Yes,
you can use it as removal for your opponents. Because 9 times out of 10, when a creature is being cast, it's being cast for a reason. And most of the time, a random creature off of their deck is not going to be as impactful as the one they have out currently.
I actually remember this, and it was a little bit scary because we were going to remove a Kess from William. You might know him as Evil Will. And we were going over this deck and thought, okay, this could turn out to be really bad because we could accidentally reveal into a Falsa's Oracle. And if he has Tainted Pact or Demonic Consultation, we might lose here. Or we will reveal into a Dockside Extortionist. So there were some really scary situations that could accidentally happen.
Yes, there are some decks you want to be careful when you're using it in that manner. Only at sorcery speed though, so it's not fantastic, but in a pinch, it works.
Amazing, Jordan. I really like your deck. I've been playing against it for a while.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for coming here and showcasing it for us.
It's no problem. It was my pleasure.
Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what I do and you wanna support me, feel free to share my videos or even checking out my Patreon page. Also, purchasing cards from the TCG Players website using the affiliate link in the description below of the video will also help the channel grow. So a big thank you to all of you.